Hi everybody, it's me again, Albatross, and as promised, I'm gonna let the rest of this video play. I'm gonna do my best not to interrupt. I'm just gonna let it play through. Here we go.
Your parents need something to be able to save you and not let you go and be broken. The more that you keep this, the more that you keep a secret, it starts to chip at you. It messes with your heart and it hurts, and you're upset, and you're like, why am I sad? Why am I angry? Why am I fighting and clashing with my parents? It's because you're keeping something from them that you know you should tell them. Okay. Don't ever let somebody threaten you. And like I said, unless it's a birthday present and a really, really good one, there is no need to keep it secret. A lot of my whole life, I was told to keep a secret. I was told that if I would tell on somebody, it would be my fault. I was told to keep everything quiet, and it didn't help. It really didn't help. There were some people out there that probably could have saved my life, but at one point I was so scared that I wasn't able to say anything. And it made me live a lie.
Yeah.
So,
I think parents can do, it might be awkward. It's always like that, the whole, birds and bees conversation. But parents can also, I've talked to kids that, are in my family as young as 3, and even though it seems like they're not understanding, at least it started, because I know, like in my job, I work for a tech company, and they send us emails to train us, how to recognize a spam email, versus a real email. And some of these emails look exactly alike, but they point out little things. So as parents, if you do it in repetition and have the conversation, and even though you may still have a child or a teenager that is not communicating to you, at least you're teaching them how to look out for someone who might be studying them, or someone who is trying to find out or asking certain questions that will reveal information about them that a trafficker might want to know. So as parents, the repetition, I think, is really important, and then just kind of talking to your kids often, and it's unfortunate. It's really sad that we have to put up these guards now with children, but you see, it's like every other day. I'm reading articles about someone tried to snatch this child, and they're getting so bold. Traffickers are getting so bold. They're like, you're in the car with them, like in San Diego with that little toddler. The guy literally, and both of his parents were there, and he's in a car seat. I don't know how far he thought he was going to get, but
this is a regular tactic. That was a regular tactic. They watch you get into your cars. This is something coming out of grocery stores as well. They watch you get into your cars. You know that as a safety lock, this is an insurance protocol as well, that when you unlock your car, especially as an automatic, your driver's side locks first, and then you have to click it again, and the rest of your car unlocks. This is because you can get into one side of your car and there's a trafficker already coming onto the other side. This is a tactic that they use all the time, as well as the flashing lights during Halloween for gang initiations. A lot of things tie together. And I don't think people realize that either, that trafficking goes as far as drugs, organ harvesting parents, the black market, and much, much more. It all ties, really, really ties in. I want to explain to you, though, for the kiddos, like what to do as well. Trust your feelings. I know some of us walk home from school. We have a busy family life. And there's just things that we have to do because we have to do it. It's life. Like I said, it's not about being scared. It's just about being educated and having a plan at all times, and knowing something in the back of your head that if something ever comes up, you automatically go into fight and flight mode. Yes, you panic a little bit, but at least something comes up that you can start to do something about it. But but just trust your feelings. And what I mean by like trusting your feelings is somebody standing too close to you. You know, watch around for yourself. Is someone taking pictures of you, a stranger? A lot of people think that when we're out making these TikToks, someone is watching us, you know, but that's not the thing. Like, you know what I mean? There's so many people who are like, hey, they think I'm getting it, but they're actually watching you. And traffickers prey off of these videos. They use these videos at night for other purposes. Parents, I'll let you explain that to your children. I won't break that down, but you know what I mean. They take your children's faces. They take those videos, they Photoshop them, and they use them for after night purposes.
Just like parents, I said earlier.
Okay, so this is what I mean by being careful of where your children goes. I have media releases on all of my stuff as a dance choreographer, because there's some parents who actually
and
realize,
this is before AI, if I'm not mistaken. And correct me if I'm wrong. Has AI been a thing since 2020, or wasn't it like just like developed in the last couple years? I mean, I'm honestly asking. I'm not really sure. Because I thought it had been around for years and years and years. But then, like, I heard a couple years ago that no, it actually hadn't. So I'm a little confused about that, the origins of AI. So I'm a little confused about it. But anyway, if someone knows the answer to that, please comment, because I would really like to know. I'm having trouble finding that out.
Yes, I want my kid out on a flyer. But at the same time, there are dangers to that. You know what I mean? We don't want to think about those things, but we have to. And those are the things that we have to be careful of. Being photoshopped onto somebody else's body, being used for other purposes, and then watching the video. People think it's about something else, and they see somebody always has their cell phone, but in reality there's traffickers who have mirrors on their shoes, and they're walking next to girls with short skirts on, and there's mirrors on their shoes. So the reflection is going up your skirt, ladies. Okay, there's boys who walk around with their shirt off. There is guys who take pictures of you with your shirt off. People think I'm just a guy, it's hot, like you know what I mean? But there are some things that traffickers take enjoyment out of seeing from children, and just seeing that is enough. You know, if you knew that your picture was taken and some trafficker was using that to stare at night and fantasize about you and dream about you, how creepy would that be? You don't know that person.
Disgusting. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can you imagine somebody like taking a picture of you out of nowhere and then laying with it on their bed and like, I dream of this person at night all the time? That's creepy, right? But these are the things that people do. And like I said, people now, it's like, oh, we're out making a TikTok and everybody is like looking at us like, get it. And once again, no, there's some times where traffickers are like, oh, I'm taking enjoyment out of this in the worst way. And that's where we have to be careful. You know what I mean? Walking home from the school is a big one. I was walking home one day, thank God, with a tall flag. I was out in Paris, California, and I had my earphones in. I'm a music girl. I love every piece of music. If you have ever been on a road trip, heard my playlist, it's all over the place. So I love music. So I will blast the place.
Sorry about that.
I
Skip
love
back
music.
2 seconds.
So
My bad.
I will blast it. It has to sound right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the easiest way to snatch someone. You're in your phone. You have your headphones in. You're looking down. You're on Instagram. You're talking to your friends. You're walking. You're singing. You can see what's in front of you, but you have no idea, and you're not listening to someone driving up or walking up on you. Yeah. And that is the problem. Now people are like, but I want to listen to music while I'm walking. Okay, listen to music while you're walking. Keep one headphone in and keep your music low so you can hear your surroundings. If somebody walked out, my nickname, and it's not a good one, a trafficker used to call me Bird. And the reason why was because every time somebody walked behind me, I would flip around before you even got 10 steps even close to me. So I'd freak out. And it's a part of, something that I go through now called PTSD. But it was me flipping out, and she thought it was funny. But they take pride in sneaking up on people and scaring you. This is how your blood is processed in a way that goes into an adrenochrome process. Once again, we're going to get into it another day. But this is something that happens and they take enjoyment out of. So please, if you're walking home, watch your surroundings. Stay alert. Do not have your earphones full blasting. Don't be full blown in a book. Some of us are bookworms. You know, I walk home in an Ellen Hopkins book and get lost. And I'm in my world, you know what I mean? And yeah. I'm walking and there's someone walking right behind me. I had someone completely follow me home and meet me inside of my house. I went into my house and my dog was pushing me out, trying to warn me that there was someone standing in my bathroom. And my parents, my mom wasn't home. She's a social worker, so she's at work. My sisters and brothers, they're at work. You know what I mean? I'm just getting home and getting off. So there's a lot of things that go on, and I really just want you to stay careful. And like I said, I tell you these things not to scare you, but because you should have a plan. You should be aware, because this is not something that you hear in school. This is not something that some people tell you because they're too scared to give you this reality. But if you can watch TikTok, if you can be on Instagram, if you can learn the next trending dance, then trust me, you should be able to know about the dangers that go on around the world if you are going to put these things out there, if you are going to be involved in certain things. And this is just being alert, you know what I mean? This is just being educated, because so many people say, I didn't know that existed. Well, yeah, now you do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Peer pressure is a big one.
Just to kind of touch back on the fear thing. So, you know, before this call started, that was a concern of mine, especially knowing that kids were going to be on here, is that, you know, I'm like, I hope this doesn't put fear in people. That's, you know, ultimately not the outcome that I wanted, but just awareness. And I feel like fear comes from, you know, the unknown. So, you know, you're going to be afraid initially hearing these types of things, but again, as you become familiar, you know, with tactics or ways that these things are happening, you know, you take that information and you learn how to prepare yourself so that way you're not afraid. And that's ultimately, you know, why we're having this conversation, because of the prevalence of child trafficking that's taking place. You know, we want parents and kids, you know, to know what's out there and how you can, you know, equip yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, peer pressure is a big one. There's friends who are, I was in the foster care system, so a lot of times I had the free reign to do whatever I want before a certain time at night. And a lot of people weren't able to do that. Some people have rules that they have to follow, which is you can't be out of the house past 10 o'clock. You can't do certain things. Some people play off of that and they use that, especially as a child recruit that is trying to help a trafficker lure you in. And they'll make fun of you. They'll say, but, you know, are you scared? Or are you, I mean, this is what everybody is doing. Why can't you do it too? I mean, it's just going to be one time, maybe twice. It's not a big deal. And you feel like, okay, it's not a big deal. I have been in situations where I've watched girls, I'm sorry, but I've watched people try to peel people's skin off of their body. And
oh my God.
When you're little, you don't understand that. You're like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? You have to be able to understand that these things, and this is because they were going to talk. If you tell a trafficker, no, I don't want to go, I want to go home, it's no just walking into a situation, then, I want to leave. They're not going to go for that. And then because of that, then they try to hurt you. So you get scared and you don't want to leave because you're too scared to leave. So this is why it's good to be educated. And if anything was to happen, you know, if somebody was to come up and grab you while you're walking home from school, if somebody was to come up to the school and say, hey, mom said, you know, I'm picking you up today, I'm her new friend, and I'm going to drop you off. She didn't call you, right? It's okay, come with me. And they're dragging you, you kick, you fight, you scream. You do not stop fighting and you run. And you do whatever you have to do to get away. It's just important to know these things. It's very important to know those things, to say, I'm not going to go with you. I'm going to do everything in my power to get home. I'm going to do everything in my power to stay safe. And that means whatever that means to protect you. You start learning how to instantly turn your camera on. If you're walking home from school, if you are the type that hangs out with your friends, just learn how to turn your camera on. If you are able to go to amusement parks by yourself, this is okay. I'm not saying don't go do these things, but I'm just saying be alert. If you do that, know how to put your phone instantly on your home screen, or phone, excuse me. Know how to put your camera instantly on your home screen to open your camera to go live. If somebody was to ever come after you, the best thing that you can do is go live so that everybody around you can see something that is happening. If you are walking down the street and there's somebody following you and they're behind you, you need to learn how to put your camera on instantly and say, okay, this person is following me. Okay, if something ever happened after calling 911, when you call 911, then you put your phone on. Get off the phone with 911 and then put your phone on and make sure that you're recording until you get from point A to point B, because then people can see they're on this street. They were coming down this street. I saw them standing next to the 7-Eleven. The guy behind them had on a blue hat. The lady that was walking behind them had on a pink shirt. Somebody can identify something and somebody can help your parents find you. God forbid something was to happen.
Yeah.
I
think of the movie Taken.
Yeah, that is such a sugar-coated movie. That was a sweet version.
When Liam Neeson was like, they're going to take you, like, prepare yourself, but scream out everything that you can identify them with so that he could hear it. And
I've had to do this with my mom. When I was in a situation in a foster home, I had to put my phone down at one point and her just be able to hear what was going on so she could be able to help me. There are passwords that you should have with your parents. I have one with my mom. You know, we have this code word that, say for it, you don't like grapefruit, and you get in a situation and there is someone that is standing right next to you and say, hey, call your parents right now and tell them that you're okay. And tell them that you're going to a slumber party at your friend's house and that you'll be back in a few hours.
Yeah.
You can call your parents and say, hey, Mom, did you get me that grapefruit that I love? And automatically your parents are going to be like, wait, what? You know what I mean? This is a code word. So then your parents can say, which store did you want it from? And you can say where you're standing in front of. I wanted it from the store that is on 3rd and Magnolia. I'm making something up. And that way you can tell your parents where you are. Have this password with your parents. You know what I mean? Have this code word, this talk with your parents. So, you can call mom, or you can, if you ever get trapped in a situation, you need to message her without somebody knowing. You can call them, you can message them, and you can say something and give them a signal, basically.
Yeah. What are some tips for parents with younger children, where 5 and 6, 5 or even younger, just that maybe they can talk to the really young kids about, because obviously they don't have a phone, or might not understand that type of conversation, but I'm sure there are things that younger kids can still learn to be aware of.
Yeah, I think again, talking to your kid in a way that they can understand. You as a parent would know which way that is, but telling your kid that, hey, if somebody ever said that mommy was going to come pick you up from preschool, or mommy can't come pick you up from preschool, then that's not true. So that way your baby, because babies are so honest. Babies are so honest, especially at 3 to 5 years old. If you pull up to a school, if you have a booger in your nose, if something's going on, they're going to tell you. So if something happened and you already warned your child in a way that said, mommy or daddy is the only people that are going to be picking you up from school. Then when somebody weird shows up, they're going to, my mommy and daddy are the only people that are picking me up from school, preschool. When you're out at the park, watch your kids.
Another thing I would like to mention too, another good word of advice, don't let your kids wear clothes that have their names on them. That is a very easy way for someone to say, hey, like if your child's name was, I don't know, Rick, and like that was on his shirt, someone could just come up and say, oh, hey, Rick. Oh, yeah, your mom told me this, that. But yeah, I know, you know what I mean? So just be very careful with things like that. Because, I mean, these are kids. They're not going to pick up on the fact, well, he saw that from my shirt. No, they're, you know what I mean? They're so innocent. They're going to think that that person knows them. So just another thing I wanted to add.
There are so many children recruits now. So many children recruits that you would be surprised. They do this on purpose because now it's harder, to go up and talk to someone's child in 2020. You know what I mean? As a grown adult, 50-year-old, 60-year-old man, you can't just walk up to a child. So therefore, they take their recruits with them, and their recruits are slaves. So please be easy on these children as well, because I know that you want to be so angry with them, but they are doing this because their life depends on it.
Right.
So it's not their fault. I've been in a situation where I've been arrested when I was in someone's hands. I've seen people call girls that are in danger or boys that are in danger children prostitutes, and that's not the case. These are children.
Right.
Yeah.
They call it for what it is. A child can't give
consent.
I have zero patience for anyone that calls anyone under the age of 18 a prostitute. Zero patience for it. You can get the heck out of here if that's how you feel, because no, I have zero patience for it.
But they can arrest anyone who's under 18 and prostituting. And they do. That's not true. And
they say that it's they call them young women, and they call them young prostitutes or young men, and it's passed off as an adult.
All right, that was it for this one, guys. Thanks for listening.